Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Sock and Colorful, taking place here on the Tide Hunters. Colorful spawning as the blue Night Elf player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Sock spawning as the yellow human on the bottom right. For some reason, I feel like I got tripped up in what I was saying just a moment ago. But yeah. Anyways, let's break things down in this 1v1 matchup. Night Elf versus Human. Looks like it's going to be pretty standard. Altar of Elders, Moonwell, Ancient of War. Meanwhile, Altar of Kings, Barracks. Yeah, pretty standard openings. No crazy shenanigans. No Paladin Rifle early. Most likely going to be Archmage and then going up against Demon Hunter? No, Warden. Alright. So Warden, another high agility, high mobility hero here on Tide Hunters. Normally, I expect to see Warden on Tyrannus Stand. Tide Hunters can also go for that Warden since there are so many blinkable pathways to try and maneuver around the map. Now, solo Warden strategies are fairly popular as well, as getting to level 6 on the Warden unlocks that Avatar of Vengeance. And that Avatar of Vengeance is just so strong. It's almost as pretty much another level 5 hero out on the battlefield, as it summons up all of these Spirits of Vengeance who can do free damage. Alright, Warden out on the battlefield looking for an easy kill or pressure onto the Archmage. Archmage going after this Murloc creep camp will get to level 2 as the Warden now comes by. Alright, going to be a quick deny there. Warden going to come across it. We're going to be looking at some just melee damage as we see a quick detonation once more. Alright. Warden, is it going to try and push its way inside this base? It's not going to be, well, in a very good spot, as the farm now taking quite a bit of damage since it doesn't have that fortified armor yet. Meanwhile, Footman trying to take down a Moonwell. That's going to be an uphill battle, as the Warden, well, not going to be able to really knock down this farm, as now with fortified armor, it takes greatly reduced damage from piercing, magic, normal, and hero attacks. Now, trying to remember all of the different types of armors and how it all works out in WarCraft 3 can be a little bit of a daunting task. Meanwhile, we see the Warden right here. This is interesting. The Warden is purposely shadow melding and kind of challenging Sock to be like, hey, are you... Oh, there's a Fan of Knives, level 2 now on the Warden, getting in a fair amount of damage. And now going to shadow meld again. Are we going to see another Fan of Knives to try and focus down any of those units? There's a little bit of damage again as the archers are poking their way through. There's a Fan of Knives, and now the Warden forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. Really absorbed quite a bit of damage though, so all of these Moonwells are going to be, well, drained dry here as the Warden sits at level 2, does go for Blink and Fan of Knives. Expansion attempt by Sock, no surprise here on Tide Hunters. Meanwhile, Warden picking up Boots of Speed, perhaps going to try and chase down and just continue to rack up more damage on all of these units here. All right, Warden down to 343 hit points, trying to perhaps add up a little bit more. You can see that that Footman was down to 141, and now the Warden simply just going to make its way over and perhaps try and take down some of these peasants. That low hit point peasant going to try and get away. There's a Fan of Knives, finds one peasant down, finds another peasant down, as the Warden continuing to rack up a little bit more damage again. One scouting Footman still running amok inside the Night Elf base as another peasant gets taken out, and that is going to be a Blink. Warden able to escape away at 63 hit points, and, well, considering her options, not quite sure where it wants to run off to. Moonwells are, well, getting filled back up, but the Warden has taken so much damage, it might be a little bit difficult, as the Warden, well, sub 100 hit points and sub 50 mana can easily drain all of these Moonwells here. There's a Staff of Teleportation inbound. Warden gonna try and drink up some here. Archers are in position. Warden, and we're gonna see perhaps a Fan of Knives. That was a beautiful use of, well, Shadow Meld here to try and be able to get a quick and easy kill. Low hit point Footman trying to retreat back. Archers going to continue to engage. Ancient of War is also going to try and fight here, as we're looking at, well, a lot of damage just getting racked up here. Are we going to see a deny? Yes, we see a beautiful deny by Sock as an archer gets lost amongst the chaos. Sock able to retreat back here, And now Sock, hiding behind with 2 low hit point footmen, needs to build an Arcane Vault in order to get some healing, deciding to build it at his main base instead of the Expo. Meanwhile, we should be already at tier 2. There's that dual Ancients of Lore by Colorful, who may be getting a Dryads ready to abolish magic down the Archmage's water elementals and continue to feed more experience. Archers making their way over. Well, you remember the Warden does have very high auto attack damage. Boots of speed are on both of these heroes, hence the Warden cannot easily catch up. As the Warden, well, just playing a game of chase with the Archmage. Archmage, playing a game of hard to get. As low hit point footmen, well, gonna try and retreat back here. All right, we're gonna buy a scroll of regeneration. The low hit point footmen there were already transferred back over. Blacksmith being built over at the Expo as the well, there's a blink. Are we gonna see a Fan of Knives trying to add damage onto the Archmage? The blink didn't land, and now the Archmage is regenerating hit points and mana while keeping a little bit of distance away there. All right, there's that blink, and the Archmage no longer healing as this water elemental is going to get puddled down. Yes, it does get puddled down, but due to timed life, so a little bit of a deny on experience there as well. All right, so timed life coming to an end. Warden trying to add in more damage. Low hit point footman. That footman's going to try and back away. Archers are trying to retreat back. We really need to see the Dryads from Colorful. Otherwise, well, all of the investment on Colorful's units has not really paid off yet. Yes, the Warden could be getting a little bit more of additional experience, but it's really not enough. We are getting up Abolish Magic and that Druid of the Claw Adept training as the Ancient of War is absorbing quite a bit of damage here. All right, are we going to see a Fan of Knives? No, we do not. Ancient of War eating a little bit of trees. Warden trying to chase down. Are we going to see a low hit point footman get taken down? No, we are not. Warden still applying pressure onto the Archmage. Archmage is simply walking all the way back, and the footmen with Defend are currently just having a field day against all of the piercing damage that Colorful is bringing to the table. All right, so Goblin Alchemist as the second hero by Sock. We are not looking at any heroes here. Goblin Alchemist perhaps going to, hasn't done Chemical Rage or Acid Bomb as of yet. And now we're looking at the Warden down to 177 hit points, needing to back away once more. Sock does have the supply advantage, 47 compared to 39, but the army sizes are about the same. Here's Healing Spray to try and counteract all of that Fan of Knife damage as the Warden now does finally get up to level 3. All right, clearing out some easier creep camps. Gauntlets of Ogre Strength plus 3 Archmages here. In comes the unit, Druid of the Claw, and now the Altar, the Warden needs a rejuvenation. All right, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength plus 3 picked up by the Alchemist. There's a rejuvenation, as the Warden does have Orb of Venom and should be able to, really rack up quite a bit of damage. There's a Fan of Knives, finishes off that footman right there, and now we are looking at a little bit of Healing Spray. All right, Slow Poison. That's going to be another dead footman there, no deny, as the Warden perhaps going to try to rack up a little bit of damage on that Goblin Alchemist again. All right, Goblin Alchemist taking quite a bit of damage. Healing Spray can easily heal back up the Archmage. Well, Archmage accidentally buys something right and aggroes all of those units here, as the Warden still needs another rejuvenation if it really wants to continue all of this fighting here. Now, one thing to note, Colorful does have a slight experience advantage. Well, a slight experience advantage since he is a solo hero and at tier 3. 30% bonus on all experience gathered by that Warden, who could get to level 4 and level 5 very quickly. All right, there's a little bit more rejuvenation. Giant Sea Turtle going to get taken down. There's level 4 on that Warden, as we mentioned. Meanwhile, Archmage and Goblin Alchemist still sitting at level 3, level 1. Colorful getting very close to the upper echelons of 50 supply, no upkeep. Sock already there, and now starting to bank a little bit of his gold so that he can burst into perhaps mid-60s or even low 70s once the time comes. Warden trying to get in a position. That's a lot of Slow Poison. We're going to see a blink. There's a Fan of Knives. One footman going to get taken down, and now the Warden perhaps could have a little bit of trouble. Warden down to 118 mana, not going to be able to blink Fan of Knives again, as we see, I believe that was an Ancient of... well, it can't be the Ancient of Wonders. Ancient of Wonders is right there. All right, still looking to fight and engage here. Orb of Venom damage over time. Perhaps another Fan of Knives. That's a low hit point footman right there. Trying to rack up a little bit of damage here. That low hit point footman going to double back around. This Warden chasing as we're looking at, well, still creeping happening underway. So the Warden has finished off some other units, is gaining experience. That's a pure up to vitality in the middle of the battlefield as the Warden is just going after these units and trying to get more damage again. All right, another finish off there. Warden really trying to get to level 5 as the Dryads are looking to engage here. Blood Mage, a third and final hero to try and neutralize that Warden. Are we going to see an engagement off over here in just a moment? Use a potion of replenishment potion, pick up the Pure Up to Vitality, and now having a little bit of mana ready to go once more. Panda out here on the battlefield as well. Are we perhaps going to be looking at a Breath of Fire? There's the Dust of Appearance. There's Siphon Mana. Warden doesn't blink to break the link as the Panda now off to the north going to go ahead and clear out a relatively difficult creep camp. Colorful purposely pulling Sock away in order to get some easy creeping for that Panda who will get to level 2. Meanwhile, it looks like Fan of Knives and Breath of Fire is the 1-2 combination that Colorful is going for to try and take down a lot of these units. A quick note though, the Goblin Alchemist with 2 healing wards and also that healing spray could neutralize a lot of that burst AoE damage that the Warden is hoping to use. All right, continuing the fight, Staff of Teleportation outbound, Warden down to 400 hit points, teleports back home. Most likely going to, well, find this footman in the backfield, finish it off, and now just shy of level 5. Meanwhile, Panda may be able to get to level 3 here. Pure up the vitality drop. No. Just going to go ahead and drink up anyways. Who has the... Was the Pure Up to Vitality sold? Okay, apparently it was sold. Panda now at level 3, so level 2 Breath of Fire, nearly level 3 Fan of Knives, going up against Knights, Mortar Teams, Footmen. That is going to be key right there. Whether or not you can get to that back line, destroy those all of these smaller low hit point units, or just rack up damage there. There's a Roar, there's a Fan of Knives, and you can see how much damage was already there. Warden now sitting at level 5. Shadow Meld, Siphon Mana. Again, we're going to see Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. We should be looking at another Fan of Knives. Look at all of that AoE burst damage as the Panda and the Warden just working so well together. All right, no healing ward placed down. Scroll of Town Portal, and Sock realizes how much damage that is. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives here? No, we are not. Spellbreaker ends up getting taken down. No Fan of Knives. If there was a Fan of Knives, I believe because this knight was banished, the Fan of Knives would have actually killed that knight rather than saving it instead. Dual Barrack, 69 supply over 88 compared to Colorful's 50. Colorful cannot easily break into low upkeep, but is sitting on 1,500 gold and content at perhaps leveraging his heroes a bit more. 72 supply compared to 50. Once that initial burst of damage is gone, Anti-Magic Shell is going to be used. Should be used. There it is. There's a Fan of Knives. One peasant down, second peasant down, trying to go after more and more of those peasants, trying to finish those units off, gain a little bit more experience. The Expos almost look like they become, well, experience gatherers or experience points here as the Warden now going after the Mortar Team. Mortar Team going to jump inside that Goblin Zeppelin and be able to stay alive. Meanwhile, Panda staying at level 3, gonna get closer to level 4, but still be a bit shy here as the Druids of the Claw, Dryads, Knights may try to dive on in here. There's an Acid Bomb onto those Druids of the Claw. Warden still going after these Mortar Teams and may be able to finish it off. Yes, does finish it off there. And we are looking at, well, level 3 weapons or armor upgrades for these Knights. Sock already has 3-2 upgrades on these Knights at the 15-minute mark of the game. So base damage is going to be quite difficult. Let's look at the Druids of the Claw. Only 2-1 upgrades as well. Ancient of War suffering far too much damage. That's going to get finished off easily as the Knights look to back up again. Animal War training completed on those Knights. Goblin Zeppelin here. Both sides going to try and engage. Warden sitting at level 5. Needs to get a little bit more as we are looking at the Mortar Teams well, trying to force and pressure a fight here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Are we going to be a little mortar team in the back? Are we going to see a Fan of Knives? They're going to be seeing a little bit of damage here as Siphon Mana drains that Brewmaster again. Both sides still fighting. Potion of Mana. Wow, low hit point Knights. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Scroll of Town Portal. The Warden needs to use a Fan of Knives. Finishes off 1 or 2 Knights, and I believe that was a level up on that Brewmaster. So Breath of Fire, Fan of Knives really doing a lot of work here. You can see Healing Ward being used back at home to recover extremely quickly. Try to get all of those hit points lost. We're looking at 70 supply compared to 69. Colorful able to get into low upkeep, but remember is only running off of 1 base. There's only 6 minutes of mining left on the main base, about 8 minutes of mining left on the expansion. And that is going to be a big deal. 11,500 more gold mined when it comes to time, as we see another Warden try to dive in here and get some damage up. All right, the Warden going to try and finish off another peasant there. Still a little bit shy of level 6. Needs 41 more experience. I believe two workers. I think workers only give 40, so needs to kill just a little bit more. Fan of Knives is brutal against peasants, yeah. Especially with the anti-magic shell being able to resist that arcane tower. The Warden still has enough mana to do its job. All right, low hit point, or well, half hit point Knight trying to retreat back here. There is triple Staff of Sanctuary by Sock, so saving low hit point units is going to be Sock's game now. If that Warden gets to level 6, things are going to go sideways extremely quickly, and Colorful may be able to snowball with a level 6 Warden, a level 4 Brewmaster, and that Avatar of Vengeance. All right, we're looking at some damage here. Panda, is it going to turn back around? Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. There's the Drunken Haze. Nope, there's that Breath of Fire. There's Blizzard now raining down. Scroll of Healing trying to counteract all of that Blizzard damage. Staff of Sanctuary, Staff of Preservation is going off, as well as the Archmage is only sitting at level 3. Siphon Mana. Brewmaster trying to break the link here. Going to perhaps turn back around as the Avatar of Vengeance is now out there on the battlefield. There's a Breath of Fire. Warden still getting into more Fan of Knives. Knights are now falling relatively quickly as Staff of Sanctuaries are still going across. All right, both sides losing quite a bit of units. There's a beautiful Staff of Sanctuary saving a low hit point Knight as the Blood Mage could be in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal now outbound. Wow. Multiple low hit point units. Both sides saving units like mad. Look at that. I don't think there's 1,000 hit points amongst all of these Knights, and some of these Knights have been healing for quite some time. Not quite sure. Why did the Blood Mage not get the Scroll of Regeneration? Yeah, that was a little bit of a misstep there. Blood Mage not getting that Scroll of Regeneration. All right. Spirit of Vengeance can try and dive in here, try to get some damage onto some of these units again. Avatar of Vengeance, well, has a 3-minute time life, trying to retreat away. Warden, perhaps getting up a Clarity Potion. We're going to see some more Avatar of Vengeances summoned up here. And as they're summoned up, they can act and they can easily get damage onto some of these trailing units in the back. As you see a Spirit of Vengeance off over here, well, that time life is going to be coming to an end. All right, Siphon Mana onto the Warden. Warden trying to retreat back once more. We're looking at a low hit point Mortar team trying to run away from these Spirit of Vengeances as they're going to be turning around the corner. Meanwhile, Druids of the Claw, all of these units were back at home. They were trying to heal up. Are they going to be able to get into combat form? Yes, they are. This is going to be in time. Warden now comes down, and here we are into the engagement. Archmage is only at level 3, so level 6 Warden going up against all of these units. Level 2 Blizzard trying to rack up the damage. There is another Breath of Fire. There's another Staff of Sanctuary. So triple Staff of Sanctuary versus level 3 Fan of Knives, level 2 Breath of Fire, as the Blood Mage somehow stays alive. Warden going to be forced to try and retreat back. There's a Staff of Preservation for the save right there. Archmage still dropping in more Blizzard, trying to stay alive here. So the burst healing from the Alchemist really doing a strong job as the Archmage is trying to rack up more damage onto all of these Druids of the Claw. All right, so many Druids of the Claw in the orange and in the red. This could turn things back around. Colorful, he's going to be able to escape with a handful of Knights. There goes one Druid of the Claw. Look at all of those low hit point Druids of the Claw who need to retreat back. Avatar of Vengeance, that his time is coming to an end. Flying Machine gets shut down here. All of these Druids need to, go into Druid form and then try and get some rejuvenations off. That is going to be a big deal right there. What is that? 6 Druids of the Claw, all of them pretty much in the red or orange, as we're still looking at more pressure coming in from the south. Warden comes back, anti-magic shell, fan of knives, trying to finish off more units. There's a breath of fire with 3 staff of sanctuaries. It feels like it is always off of cooldown as the avatar of vengeance here. Wow, Archmage survives after the level up with 11 hit points. More staff of sanctuaries most likely will be used here to try and save those low hit point knights. Getting every ounce of usefulness from every single hit point, seemingly the name of the game right now. You can see all of these Druids of the Claw, they need to get mana. Once they have mana, then they can rejuvenate themselves. Once they rejuvenate themselves, then they can transform back into their fighting form. So time is the major resource. All right, another mortar team getting caught in transit here. Perhaps the avatars or the Spirit of Vengeances can dive on this arcane tower as more and more units getting summoned up here. Yellow Army on the move. Remember, Gold Mine is nearly mined out. Only 10 seconds left here. Goblin Zeppelin, however, constantly lifting up and trying to save those units. All right, Druids of the Claw, they are all back in Druid fighting form. All right, so Staff of Sanctuary is bringing back the Knights. The Druids of the Claw, their skill set, able to bring them back. But look at how much damage is already getting racked up onto these Druids of the Claw again. Who's dealing more damage? Warden continuing to fight their way through. There's more Blizzard. That is only the level 2 variety of Blizzard, as the Warden now trying to retreat back. Breath of Fire. Well, no, there's some more Staff of Sanctuaries. The Druids of the Claw are pretty much out of commission now. Are we going to see enough damage? The AoE damage of the Archmage, nothing to gawk at, as we're looking at more, well, just saving again and again. A Druid of the Claw getting taken down here. Banished Knight. We're looking at more damage still, as perhaps, well, I don't believe there's enough mana. Brewmaster could come back around with a little bit of mana. Perhaps Breath of Fire down to some of these units again. 60 supply compared to 72. There goes one Knight finally taken out. Perhaps more damage. Archmage with Potion of Invulnerability able to escape. There's still one fairly full Moonwell up top to get a little bit more mana going. 60 supply compared to 67. Salk, remember, has the supply advantage, but that's because, well, 8 supply is currently sitting back at home. These Spirit of Vengeances do not count towards supply, but are still dealing damage at this point and stage in the game. All right. Druids of the Claw trying to hide in the very far back here. That Moonwell was drained. Most likely, well, the Alchemist now, well, looking to gain a little bit more mana, get some more healing wave going. Well, a lot of units get sent back home. Mining is happening, and it looks like Salk may be able to outlast here. There's a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, still getting in more pressure. Druids of the Claw are all low on hit points. Archmage needs to find a way to set up perhaps some Blizzard, but, well, while the Warden still has mana, this could potentially be a big problem. All right, Knight still taking a little bit of damage over time. There's a Staff of Sanctuary. There's a Fan of Knives. Another mortar team gets taken down, and we're going to be fighting back the other way. The Blizzard causing some problems. Warden in the backfield here. Warden down to 94 mana. Perhaps going to get another Fan of Knives off. No, not quite yet. Still trying to fight, trying to finish things off. Alchemist could get taken down to 170 hit points. There's a Breath of Fire, blows it over. Brewmaster down to 66 hit points. He's trying to back away. Alchemist falls at level 3, but look at the Bears. The Bears are all getting cleaned up as well. And there's another save. 52 supply compared to 62. There can't be like 500 hit points amongst all these red hit point bears. Even the Panda Bear is taking quite a bit of damage. We're going to see a clarity potion. No, Druids of the Claw purposely hiding in the backfield again. Avatar of Vengeance summoning up Spirit of Vengeances, trying to go after some of these units once more, finding corpses wherever they can. There's a frog still racking up a little bit of damage again. All right, Druids of the Claw. Oh, they are still, well, not yet ready to fight. They need to get a little bit more mana. There's a fresh Druid of the Claw there. Gonna get some rejuvenations off, or should be getting some rejuvenations off. I don't know why we don't see that yet. There's a rejuvenation. We are looking at, well, the Tree of Eternity has made its way to the southern side here to try to get a little bit of, well, gold. All right, Blizzard raining down. Those wisps don't stand a chance. The Tree of Eternity now taken out. Meanwhile, Druids of the Claw seem to be okay in terms of damage. There's a Breath of Fire. Warden continuing to put in pressure. Archmage trying to reach back. Are the hero levels going to be too much to overcome? 4-3-3 as the Warden now down to 170 hit points gets stabbed to preservation back home. Scroll of Town Portal transferred to the Alchemist. Alchemist will end up staying alive. Low hit point Druid of the Claw able to back away again. Gold, only 30 seconds of mining left at the 3 o'clock expansion. Warden has a potion of mana, and that is it. These Moonwells are now pretty much bone dry, and now the Druids of the Claw need to find ways to heal themselves back up. 56 supply compared to 67 army sizes, and, well, Warden trying to get every little bit of gold that it can. All right, looking to fall back here. Finish off these Tide Warriors. All right, North expansion. Meanwhile, bottom left, Archmage is at 4-3-3, going up against a 6-5. 4-3-3 going up against a 6-5, but the economic advantage of Sok really coming into play here, as now we are now forced to just long distance mining. Ring of Protection +4 not picked up by the Brewmaster, even though he has room. Warden also has room. Hippogriffs are trying to retreat back. We'll be able to do exactly that. Sok looking to set up a 6 o'clock expansion here in order to, well, mine once more and then finally close out this game. Army sizes are very, very, well, 52 supply compared to 48. It is going to be neck and neck. It may come down to, oh, Avatar of Vengeance cooldown is nearly done. The Warden perhaps wants to wait until this avatar is gone, summon up a new one, and then press with a new Avatar of Vengeance ready to go. Moonwells, these are all dry. Mortar teams ready to, well, pummel. How much damage are we going to do? Warden wants to kind of break free here, and, well, needs to summon up the Avatar of Vengeance. There it is. There's that Avatar, and right now we are perhaps going to be actually looking at a fight. These 3 Druids of the Claw completely out of position. Are they going to be able to dodge some damage? Staff of Preservation perhaps can save. Warden is right in that position. There's a Staff of Sanctuary. 1 Druid of the Claw about to get taken down. He's ended up being saved. There's a Breath of Fire, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here, as Druids of the Claw are now falling, as the Archmage and the other, as the mana falls for the Brewmaster and the Warden. We're not going to see that burst damage nearly as much, and now with the Druids of the Claw getting pummeled down by Blizzard, that's going to be it. Warden falls at level 6, and there goes all the chances and hopes of Colorful. Sok able to outlast his opponent, even though he was significantly behind in hero level, and this is just a foregone conclusion now. Archmage going to try to finish off that Avatar of Vengeance. The final score is going to get a little bit closer if the hero levels catch up, but we know how far behind hero level-wise Sok was. 4-3-3 going up against a level 6, level 5 for so long. If the Archmage comes across, Blizzard's down all of these units. There's a Staff of Preservation. Doesn't really save any of the units there. Archmage is still raining down a Blizzard here. Low hit point Druids of the Claw trying to retreat back. Healing Spray trying to keep the units alive. And it really is a game of mana as a resource. The Brilliance Aura and the cooldown on the human army for those Staff of Sanctuaries constantly translating to full hit point knights with healing spray and all of that. So Sock comes out ahead, the resource score being the major difference. Mining, well, you can see the difference in mining. 26,000 gold mine compared to, what, 13.5 or 14. So yeah, that was the major difference there. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.